All right, second part, from 2 points, also known as between 2 points. So pause it, make sure you get this written down. Sometimes it's said, because we're going to be seeing this between 2 points coming up later on in the lessons in this unit. This is your formula. M slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You're going to notice a lot of lack of color for me in this one, so it goes quicker, because we really don't need it. We're going to label our points instead. So what we're going to start off with, now that you've paused and written all this down, we're going to have coordinate A, or point A, with coordinates at -3, +5, and we'll have point B with coordinates 7, -1. Now you don't need a graph for this, okay? So really you didn't even need graph paper, but I'm just continuing this from the previous notes. What we're going to do is we're going to follow this formula of your slope being y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Y is always on top. The rise is always going up or down your y direction. So y is going to stay on top here. This is what I mean by going through, and we're not going to use color, we're going to label instead. We're going to label each x and y coordinate. A is my first coordinate, so I'm going to label -3 as my first x coordinate, x1. This is my first y coordinate, so y1. B is my second point, so these are my second coordinates, so I have x2, and I have y2. So now all I'm going to do is substitute into my formula that you guys have been doing for years. So I'm going to take M equals, on top, I'm going to substitute in y2, look up here, where is y2? Just make that mark, sorry. y2 is a -1. We subtract y1, look up here, y1 is right here, it's a 5. On bottom, we have x2, come up here and find x2, there's x2, 7. We're going to subtract x1, we have it labeled up here, -3. Now I'm going to put this in parentheses, okay, so that we don't get those negatives confused. Please label your x1, y1, x2, y2. As a teacher, when I'm doing these problems, I label them because you can very easily make a mistake. So now all we have to do is do our calculations. -1 minus 5 more is going to wind up being a -6. Okay? Then we come down to the bottom and we have 7 minus a -3. Well, we've learned that minus a negative turns into a plus. So we could take this and say, okay, now we have 7 plus 3. Or just plug it into the calculator, 7 minus -3. Some students prefer to do that. So this will come out to a positive 10. Again, if one of the two is negative, the whole thing is negative. Okay? So the whole thing, we do have to simplify. We got to negative. This simplifies down to a -3/5. Okay? Just be careful with those negatives and those positives, and make sure you're using the calculator to help out if it helps you.